Hi everyone, welcome back to another NBA team preview. We move north of the border to the Toronto Raptors, whose big offseason news was the loss of their mascot, the Raptor, the only member of the organization that's been there since day one in the mid-90s. He suffered a torn Achilles, and the only reason this is notable is because he's considered one of the best mascots in the entire NBA. Now, outside the mascot, let's get to the team that's led by Dwayne Casey, who is a candidate to be fired under new GM Masai Ujiri, or could be defended. We know him as the defensive mind that led the Mavs to their championship as an assistant coach, but really hasn't had a lot of success in Toronto. His success this season is going to be based around his starting five. You have Kyle Lowry running the point, DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, Amir Johnson, and Jonas Valanciunas. We're gonna point out Gay right now, who underwent off-season eye surgery, which, well, the Raptor fans can only hope improves his shooting. He was not a very good shooter outside of 10 feet. In fact, he was among the league's worst. We look at other players in that. So if he improves, you have a great player, but you still don't like the contract of $18 million a year. We look at DeMar DeRozan, who's a guy that has very poor basketball IQ. He seems lost at times on the defensive end. He seems clueless, and just has no idea what's happening in the offense. You see him sometimes just 5-6 feet back of the three-point line in offensive sets, not moving, not looking for the ball, just standing there, clueless, has no idea what to do. A guy I'd like to nickname Dum Dum DeRozan, because I think he has zero basketball IQ. He's just a fabulous athlete who can run and jump. He's not a very good shooter, not a good passer, not a great defender. Look at their point guard, Kyle Lowry, never lived up to the hype after the Raptors acquired him in trade from the Rockets. He was a defensive upgrade on Jose Calderon, but not really much of an offensive upgrade. A guy who can take it to the basket a bit, penetrate. All right shooter, decent distributor, decent defender, but not what the Raptors were hoping for when they traded their first round pick in this year's past draft. We look at their bigs now. They're starting. Amir Johnson is a physical presence they have, really their only physical defender who will give you a hard forearm in the back and play defense. They want to win. They need him to stay out of foul trouble and stay healthy for the entire year, because they're a team that could potentially sneak into the back end of a playoff shot, but they could also be a team that just trades away everyone and tanks for homegrown talent, Andrew Wiggins. Then we look at the potential all-star they have in the middle of the post with Jonas Valanciunas. He's a very good free throw shooter. He's dominated all the European tournaments for his age growing up throughout all the under 16, 18, 19, under 21 tournaments. And he's already played with the Lithuanian national team at the European Championships. A guy who could develop into a perennial all-star. A guy that looks like one of the better picks in that draft. We'll move to the bench, and it's highlighted by their first-round pick 2 seasons ago, Terrence Ross, who is much like DeRozan, a good athlete. He's smarter than DeRozan on the court, but maybe not as physically gifted. He's a guy who has poor shot selection and is a very streaky shooter. He can go 4 from 6 from 3, but can also go 1 from 5 the next night. Other guys on the bench, you have Steve Novak, who you acquired in the Andrea Bargnani trade with the Knicks, who's only in the NBA for his three-point shooting abilities. He doesn't offer you anything else. Tyler Hansbrough and DJ Augustin were signed from the Pacers to be key reserves, but on the Pacers, the bench is the liability, so you're not really improving your bench. But you look at the other players, you have the horrible contract of Landry Fields, who can't really offer you much and has just gotten worse every single year he's been in the NBA. Austin Day was a former first-round pick of the Pistons that's never worked out. Quincy Acey's a high-energy guy, basically a cheap man Reggie Evans, which isn't great because Reggie Evans is a cheap man's basketball player. And then there's Aaron Gray, who's just a big body with no hands or feet or true skill. So the Raptors are the third best team in the Atlantic Division and look to be, if they keep their team intact and don't trade everybody away, they will be in contention for a last playoff spot and a sweep by the Heat or the Bulls or the Pacers or the Nets. Either way, this is a team that really in no man's land unless they make a lot of moves. So that's my preview for the Toronto Raptors. Thanks for watching.